Hi there, it's Pam. And in today's video, we are going to look at dealing with grief, loss, and death. There really is a lot more people experiencing this grief, loss, and death at the moment. So that's why I decided to put together this video. Grief is a natural emotion when we lose someone or something. It can come from death, divorce, illness, or losing a significant something. And you can experience it both physically and mentally. We're all individuals and we're going to be experiencing it in completely different ways. You can experience intense sadness, shock, denial, a numbness, or even anger. There are so many emotions that you can experience when you lose someone or something. And for many people, time can heal that loss and grief. But over my 20 plus years of experience, I know that people can hold on to that grief and trauma for many, many years, impact their health and well-being. So it's important for you to resolve it within you, and so that you can honor the memory of the person. Because quite often, if we have that intense sadness, we don't like thinking about the person or our experiences with that person because it makes us feel sad. Where if you're able to lift off the grief and the loss, you can then honor the memories and think about them often and share their gifts and stories to people around you. Grief can be exhausting and draining and really tiring. Even the simplest things can become much harder to do. There are some people that like to express it and talk about it, but then others become more private and they keep their thoughts closer to their own chest. Now remember, I'm in the temporary office, so you're going to hear noises and the lighting's going to flicker, but we're going to get rid of our grief all the same. The move's happening soon. Many people hold on to grief as a way of honoring their love for the person. I want to share a story with you. Many years ago now, I worked with a young mother who had lost her husband in a car accident. She was perhaps in her 30s, maybe not even that old. And it was 6 weeks after he had been killed in the car accident that she wanted to and chose to deal with her grief. And the reason that she did that is she really wanted her daughter, she had a little daughter, and she wanted her daughter not to lose both her father and her mother. And she knew if the grief kept consuming her, that the little girl would experience the loss of both her father and her mother. So 6 weeks after the accident, she got professional help to deal with the grief. And you know what was really interesting about that process for me? That most of the tapping was around what people would think. If she had dealt with the grief within 6 weeks, what they would think about their relationship, about her, about their love, like all of this stuff. And his family, what they would think, was very interesting. Anyway, God bless her. She did the work and she was able to be there for her daughter and also address any questions that come from those around her. So grief is about, I believe, honoring the love and honoring those around you. So in this video, we're going to deal with the death, the hurt, the pain, the loss, that intense sadness There can be, you can't make sense of it. So what I would like you to do is I want you to get a pen and paper. And first, I want to acknowledge how wonderful it is for you to take this time to deal with your grief so that you can honor the person. So grab that pen and I want you to write down everything you're feeling. It can be shock, it can be disbelief, it can be numbness, there can be anger, there can be blame. Just notice what it is for you and write down all the ways you know you're experiencing this grief. And if you need some time, pause the video, get it all down. You could be missing them. And also if it's an infant, a child, or a suicide, they can be really intense as well. So if this really does overwhelm you and you're finding it difficult even to get started, please get some professional assistance to get the work done at that level. And then you can use the video to resolve anything that's left. But please get some support, because sometimes when we're really facing our intense emotions, we need that support and someone to keep us in a safe place and guide and protect us. So please do that. If not, you've written it all down and we're about to get started. So you've written down all the ways you know that you're having difficulty dealing with death, grief and loss. And of course there is death, but there's also divorces and illnesses, and it can be the loss of a job, it can be the loss of anything significant. So notice how it bothers you. Okay, so when you've got all the ways it bothers you, I then want you to get in touch with it. We're lighting it up on the inside. All the neuro pathways to this grief, loss, hurt, pain. And then you tap where I tap and you say what I say. And when we're tapping, we're focusing on the fingers. Excellent. Releasing and letting go. All the sadness, all the fear, all the emotional trauma. Releasing and letting go. All the angers, the resentments, the guilt. Releasing and letting go. All the judgment, all the abandonment, all the betrayal. Releasing and letting go. The rejection, the powerless feeling, the helpless, the hopeless. Releasing and letting go that intense sadness, hurt. Remember, you're focusing on your fingers. You're feeling your fingers tapping your collarbone. Releasing and letting go. All the ways this upsets me. All the ways this bothers me. I don't know if I can ever let this go. Releasing and letting go. Then you grab your wrist. I like to put my hand on my heart nowadays. Taking a big deep breath in. Breathing down into your belly and blowing it out. Peace. Feeling that peace. Humming can be really good for you. It actually stimulates the vagus nerve in the brain. Very, very good thing to do. All right, so let's go back inside again. So you get in touch. You've written it down. You get in touch with all the ways it bothers you. There can be guilt. There can be regret. Something you should have said, didn't say. All these different things. Notice what it is for you. Releasing and letting go. All the blame, all the shame, I'm letting it go. All the guilt, all the regret, all the remorse, releasing and letting go, the denial, the disbelief, releasing and letting go. It just feels unreal. Releasing and letting go. Dealing with grief, death, loss, releasing and letting go. All the ways this affects me, all the ways it bothers me, it upsets me, releasing and letting go. Grab the wrist. And if you need to take 2 breaths, if you need to pause the video, perfect. Just find that peace. And peace. Excellent. Once you've found that peace throughout your body, you then go back again. You think about all the ways it bothers you. Perfect. You notice what happens. Is it images that come in? Is it thoughts? Is there words playing over in your mind? On repeat, that is, not crazy. The thoughts just keep coming. Releasing and letting go. All the physical sensations. Sometimes it really feels like your heart's about to break. Releasing and letting go. That intense sadness. The hurt, the pain. Releasing and letting go. Such a loss. All the hopes and dreams for the future. Releasing and letting go. The deep sadness. Releasing and letting go. Perfect. Grab the wrist. And peace. Do whatever you need to do. If you need to sing, if you need to listen to a song on your phone, one of your favourite songs that you can just bop along to. Honestly, my favourite is We Will Rock You by Queen. I have such an emotional reaction to that song. It reminds me of a specific time as well. So it's not only the song I love, I can connect it back to this wonderful experience I had. Perfect. Notice what it is for you. Excellent. Okay, I want you to get in touch again. I want you to get in touch with all the ways this still bothers you. Excellent. Releasing and letting go. All the sadness, all the disbelief, and even that numbness. There can be a numbness, but you notice the numbness. The numbness is a feeling in itself. Releasing and letting go. All the ways this still bothers me. It still upsets me. Who will I be if I get over this? What sort of person would I be if I just got over this? Just notice your thoughts, and if you have thoughts, say them out loud. Releasing and letting go. Releasing and letting go. That's right. That's the best way to do it. Just let it go. Grab the wrist. Big, deep belly breath. So just a long, slow breath. And peace. Find that peace. Perfect. Good job. Just relax down. And then we check back in again. And you notice when you look at your list, what is it that comes up for you? Is it an image that you see? For some people, they have images. If the person was ill, they have images of the last time they seen them. For other people, it could be the disbelief, and it could be the dreams and the hopes for the future that are no longer there. Whatever it is, you notice how it impacts you. You notice how internally you represent that grief, the death, the loss, releasing and letting go. All the anger, all the blame, releasing and letting go. The disbelief, the confusion, releasing and letting go. All the ways this still upsets me. It still bothers me. I don't know if I can let it go. Releasing and letting go. Of course, there's a lot of cultural stuff, cultural beliefs around death as well. And that impacts the way people grieve and the amount of time they grieve. Releasing and letting go. All the ways I want to let this go. It's impacting me. It's impacting my health. It's impacting my well-being. Releasing and letting go. I am safe as I choose to let this go. Perfect. Grab the wrist. Find that peace in your body. Of course, the more intense the emotion, sometimes it's a little bit harder to find that peace. And that's where you may need to find a different way. Get up and do jumping jacks. It might not be peace. We're just looking for a different state. Peace. Excellent. All right, we'll check back in again. Look at your list. There could be relief. If someone's been ill for some time, there could be relief, but then there's guilt about the relief. Notice what it is. What else have I got here? Emptiness, despair, can't go on. That's a big one. Check in with that one. Emptiness, despair, can't go on. Releasing and letting go. All the physical sensations. I am safe as I let it go. Releasing and letting go. All the physical sensations. Dealing with death, grief, loss. I'm letting it go. Releasing and letting go. All the images fading away. All the sounds drifting off. Releasing and letting go. The hurt, the pain. I am safe as I choose to let this go. Excellent. Grab the wrist. Long, slow breath down into the belly. You may want to do two. You may want to hum. Peace. Perfect. All right, we're going to check back in again. You're going to notice all the ways. You're going to think of that person. It could be the person, the situation, the loss of a beloved pet, whatever it is. I want you to notice. You could be missing them. releasing and letting go. It'll never be the same again. I miss them so much. Releasing and letting go. All the things that are going to happen that they're not going to be there for. Releasing and letting go. All the sadness, all the hurt, all the pain. Releasing and letting go. All the shock, the disbelief. Releasing and letting go. The despair. I can't go on. Now remember, if this is really intense, please reach out and get some professional assistance. It is safe to let this go. I am safe as I let this go. Grab the wrist. Big deep breath in. And peace. Excellent. Beautiful. All right, let's just check in again. Notice what's left. Notice all the ways it still upsets you. It still bothers you. The images. And the images can go from the person dying and any images around that. It can then move on to the funeral and anything around the funeral that upsets you or bothers you. And then it can be even after that, the family dynamics and how it plays out after that. Just notice what it is. And it could be like that young person that dealt with her husband. It could be, what will people think if I get over this now? It's against culture. It's against my religion. It's against whatever. Just notice what it is for you. Releasing and letting go. That loss, the death, the disbelief. Releasing and letting go. All the expectations, the images. And if it's a specific image, you hold it in mind and you release and let it go. Everything it represents. Could have been the lack of care. It could have been the disbelief, the shock. Whatever it is, you know what it is. It's time to let it go. I want to let this go. I know, I'm going to tell you a story now. Now, when I share stories, I keep tapping. If you don't want to tap, you don't have to. You can take a deep breath. I like to keep tapping just in case there's anything left in the story. So when I was just in my 30s, early 30s, my sister was killed in a car accident. And the shock was unbelievable. Like, there was huge shock. But I think for me, the thing that I could remember the most, well, a couple of things. One was my nephew, but the other thing was, so my nephew and how he was going to be. But the other thing was, I remember the world kept going. And it really bothered me. Like, life just kept going. And I just lost my sister. And there was a real disconnect within me between this losing my sister and the world just kept going as if nothing had happened. And I remember that impacted me for a very long time. It was almost like I couldn't comprehend. And in that not comprehending, you're unable to deal with all of the grief and loss and sadness and pain because of the disconnect. And once I was able to connect with it, then of course I can deal with it at a deeper level. So just notice if there's anything like that. It might not be that specific, but there's something that's just not right. Got it? Releasing and letting go. It's just not right. It shouldn't be this way. And I guess this is, of course, with what I mentioned about the infants, the suicides, the children. We hear so many times parents are not meant to bury their children. Releasing and letting go. All the grief, all the loss, all the hurt, all the pain, the anger, the disbelief, whatever it is, I'm letting it go. Releasing and letting go. Releasing and letting it all go. Perfect. Grab the wrist. Take a nice big deep breath in. And peace. Relax your body down. Just relaxing your whole body. Perfect. Excellent. So now you check back in again. You think about your list. It could be an illness or a diagnosis. There's a shock and a intense sadness around that, a loss of a way of life. Could be a terminal illness, and there could be a lot of fear in there. Just notice what it is, releasing and letting go. All the fear, all the sadness, all the emotional trauma. I want to get over this so much, but I don't know if I can. Releasing and letting go. All the hurt, all the pain, all the loss. Releasing and letting go. All the disbelief. The missing the person, the missing the object, the situation. The missing that beloved pet. Releasing and letting go. Releasing and letting go. All the ways this still bothers me. I am safe as I let it go. Grab the wrist, take a nice big deep breath. And peace. Find that peace. Excellent. Okay, I want you now to look at grief can be very exhausting. You can be so tired, and even doing the simplest things can become really hard to do. So I just want you to notice if there's anything around that. All the exhaustion, the tired, can't concentrate, even doing the simplest things become so hard. Releasing and letting go. All the exhausted, I'm so tired. Releasing and letting go. All the exhaustion, the fatigue, the tiredness, I'm letting it go. All the ways this affects me, all the ways it bothers me. Releasing and letting go. Releasing all the feelings, all the physical sensations, all the images, all the sounds. So words that you heard, thoughts that you have, I'm letting it go. I am safe as I choose to let it all go now. It is time to honour the memories, honour the person, releasing and letting go. Grab the wrist. Big deep breath in. So belly breath, you breathe down into the belly. Okay, so last round. Of course, if you've still got more, you just go through the video again and again. Just notice what's left. Notice all the ways it still upsets you. It still bothers you. You still have a physical reaction when you think of that person, that object, that thing, that situation, whatever you're working through. Releasing and letting go. All the ways this still bothers me. Dealing with death, grief, loss. I'm letting it go. I am safe as I choose to let this go. Releasing and letting go. All the physical sensations inside of me. The sadness. The hurt. I'm letting it go. It is safe for me to heal my grief, loss. Releasing, letting go. Grab the wrist. And all the grief and loss just got taken away in a big truck. And you are left here. Now what happens when we really have cleared out the grief and loss? We're going to start the havening. The havening is a process that has been scientifically proven to send delta waves directly to the amygdala. But I find this nurturing, calming, relaxing. So what we do is we start with safe, peaceful, calm. Now you can do it down the face. Just gently and slowly. Down the face, down the arms. You can do it on your hands. And if you're in a seated position, you can go down your thighs. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be thinking about whoever it is that passed away. Even if it's a beloved pet. We're going to think of whatever it is we're dealt with, the grief and the loss. If it's a loss of a job, if it's a loss of a house. At the moment, the floods in Australia, and thousands of people are losing their houses and everything they own. Whatever it is. And I want you to start to remember the special times. If it's a person, if it's a moment, I want you to remember that time. And all the love and joy that you experienced in that moment. Sometimes you can remember the gift that the person, the pet, the situation, what you learned, and you honor that person. When that person, I'm going to stick with person for a while. When that person was in your life, no matter how long, there were moments of sheer joy or bliss or love. And that was a gift. And when we deal with our grief and loss, we're able to honor that gift and experience that love, joy, bliss. And then we can share that with people around us. We can share the memories. We can share the stories. We can share what it meant to us. What we learned from the person, from the situation. And we have to throw in beloved pets. They are so a part of family. All the moments, the smiles, what you want to remember, the way they lived. There could be a special something that they taught you that you want to pass on, hand down, share around. And I want you to imagine doing that. Keeping their memory alive, honoring their memory. Excellent. That's the best way to do it. So you bring to mind the memories and you start to relive them. And that way, if there's any sadness or loss still attached to it, the havening will process it so that you can just truly step in to the love, the joyous, the connection, because they're right there. They're right there inside of you. They never went anywhere. You have all the memories, all the moments, the love, the happiness, the joyous. All the little gifts that they gave you, all big gifts. And it's time to honor their memory by sharing whatever it is that they gifted you. Excellent. Perfect. So if you're not quite there yet, once again, you just keep havening, playing the video, thinking about all of them wonderful memories, moments. Perfect. Good job. I really hope with all my heart that you've come to a space of peace where you can honor the person that's passed. If you like the video, give it a like or subscribe to the channel. Every time someone subscribes to the channel, it helps me and it helps others that are looking for the videos to find the assistance they're looking for. And please make a comment. I read all the comments. I love reading the comments. Keep tapping.